I don't know how this started. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why I'm the person I am today. I'm a 68-year-old transgender female who started transitioning about 3 years ago, with the major full transition starting about 2 years ago. As I started painting during my transition, the painting started reflecting where I was at. This is one of the first paintings I did when I moved down to Santa Fe and began the transition. And the title of this piece is So New to the City. And this is really me arriving in Santa Fe and starting to venture out onto the streets in makeup. The confusion many people have is that gender and sexual orientation are the same thing, but they're not. I was not a gay male. I was never interested in men. I was always attracted to women. As a female, I'm attracted to women, and I now think of myself as a gay woman or lesbian, even though I know that it would be difficult, if not impossible, for lesbian women to ever think of me as a lesbian woman because of my male body. Due to my age, I don't want to change my body. I don't want to do hormone replacement therapy. So I'm kind of stuck in a male body and male face. The makeup, which is how my transition began, is key to trying to change the look. I think the biggest impact and what caused me to finally come out and realize that I could be female in this lifetime was when I saw Bruce Jenner, this virile male athlete, transition into a beautiful woman. I think Bruce and now Caitlyn Jenner probably had one of the greatest impacts on the transgender community. I know the show Transparent also forged new ground, but it wasn't that show that helped me. It was seeing Caitlyn Jenner and for the first time thinking that possibly I could be a beautiful woman. I married at age 36, then had 2 daughters. I was in a happy marriage for 30 years. But when this transition started to happen, my wife could pick up that things were changing, and it felt to me like that she should not be a part of this. She didn't sign up for this. This wasn't something that she would necessarily ever want to be a part of. The beginning of my changeover occurred when I went to a department store, and bought makeup. And it started out innocently, just going into a Macy's store, going to the makeup department, and oddly enough, I was terrified that someone might think I was buying makeup for myself. It was really my first foray into the world of women and what it's like to be a woman. And I had no idea what would happen. I had no idea that I would even transition at that point. My wife and I decided to do a temporary sabbatical where I would move down to our second home in Santa Fe, New Mexico. She would stay in our home in Denver. The day I arrived in Santa Fe, I started wearing makeup almost on a daily basis. And the transition began. I had no idea where I was going. I still dressed as a male, but whenever I left the house, I put makeup on. At the same time, I was almost oblivious to the damage I was doing back home in leaving my marriage, because that move did end the marriage. When I got down here, I knew I was never going back home. And we divorced later in the following year, and the damage I inflicted on my former wife and my two daughters was something that I am so remorseful for, but there was no way around it. And I still grieve about this to this day. This is the final painting I did in 2016. I ended the year finishing this piece. I consider it one of the more significant paintings that I've ever done. And it's really a storyline that traces my life from early childhood, being born in Cheyenne, Wyoming, in a rural kind of town, and the journey where life has taken me. I produced these series of videos with the hope that it might help others to discover their true identity and discover who their true being is. I'm so delighted that I was able to find out who I really am in this lifetime, even though it was much later for me. Thank you for taking the time to view my story, and please share it with others if you think it will help them. Thank you.